जय गुरुजी महाराज। अभी कुछ ही दिन पहले एक सवाल आया WhatsApp पे. It's just been sitting in my WhatsApp where someone has asked I should elaborate on a previous satsang जिसमें मैंने ये बोला that how I used to be a very people-reliant person and how I became this self-reliant person and what was my journey कि मैं लोगों पे बहुत dependent होती थी और अब मैं totally independent हूँ. कि वो मेरी जर्नी कैसे उस जर्नी के बारे में मैं बताऊँ. तो एक हाफिज़ पोएट हैं, उनकी एक पोएम है जिसमें वो कहते हैं that there are many wells inside me and each is filled with a good rain, but there is one well that just doesn't seem to fill with anything. So I feel that I was born with a well that was the size of God, that just wouldn't fill with anything. And I would try and fill it with different things, different people, different situations, different experiences, different physical possessions. And I think we all do it in one way or the other. But some people are satisfied doing that कि एक गाड़ी मिल गई, एक घर मिल गया, अच्छे कपड़े मिल गए. You know, when you're young, those things matter. And you're happy. जो whatever you wanted, the material stuff related to Maya, जितना आपको चाहिए था वो आपको मिल गया और आप खुश हैं. But I think with me, inside me was a well, एक कुआं था जिसका साइज इतना बड़ा था कि सिर्फ परमात्मा उसको फिल कर सकते थे. बट मैं पूरी कोशिश ये करती थी कि वो किसी ना किसी चीज़ से उसको मैं फिल कर लूँ. So I would crave experiences, people, situations, things, possessions, material possessions, desires, and I would try and be happy. कोशिश पूरी करती थी कि मैं खुश रहूं उन desires के बीच में फंस के. Acquiring the desires, collecting the possessions, but that happiness wouldn't come. So I didn't know what to do. I realized it pretty early in my life. I think I must have been 25, 26. That I was different from most people. And I had to do something really radical and different to fill that God-sized well inside me. So I started working on myself. I started the path of spirituality. I didn't know how I was going because I had no reference points. मुझे नहीं पता था कि ये करूँगी तो ऐसे होगा, ये करूँगी तो ऐसे होगा. It was a path of total darkness, but I tried my best to keep following one thing or the other. Religion मेरे लिए work नहीं करती थी because मेरे को religion की बंदिश अच्छी नहीं लगती थी. What really helped me was when Guruji came into my life, I saw God right in front of me, and He was in human form. So the idea of God was beautiful. I loved God, but I didn't have trust in God, because वो फेथ और ट्रस्ट इस चीज़ पे बहुत डिपेंडेंट होता है कि तुम्हारी कितनी डिज़ायर्स फुलफ़िल हुई और कितनी नहीं फुलफ़िल हुई, और हम उस पैमाने पे उसको मापते हैं कि इतनी फुलफ़िल हुई तो मैं ट्रस्ट करती हूँ, इतनी फुलफ़िल नहीं हुई तो मैं नहीं ट्रस्ट करती. So I guess I was a very kind of unsatisfied person, because there was this well inside my soul that was dry and nothing was helping me. But when I saw Guruji, I met Guruji, I saw God in physical form. जब तुम भगवान को फिजिकल फॉर्म में मिल लेते हो तो it's very easy to trust. It's very easy to have faith because you see him sitting right in front of you. और जब हम भगवान को मिल लेते हैं, it's very easy to bring him down to our human level and make him the God of our understanding. कि हम उनको जैसा बनाना चाहते हैं हम बना सकते हैं, क्योंकि वो जो गॉड हमें नज़र नहीं आते उनको अपने जैसा बनाना मुश्किल लगता है. पर जो भगवान हमारे सामने फिजिकल फॉर्म में बैठे हैं, हम उनको अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग का परमात्मा बना सकते हैं. So from very early, after I met Guruji, I told Guruji about my expectations from him. And I know it must be such a radical thought for most people. But I, in my own mind, my heart and my soul, I had told Guruji that this is who you're going to be. जो परमात्मा मेरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग का है वो ऐसे 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 होगा. The God of my understanding wasn't judgmental. The God of my understanding punish नहीं करते थे. The God of my understanding was loving. The God of my understanding मेरे साथ बहुत patient थे. The God of my understanding, उनका एक sense of humor था. The God of my understanding, I could make the world's biggest mistake and he would still accept me with open arms. The God of my understanding was not the executioner or the judge. The God of my understanding would keep me safe. The God of my understanding would love me so much that all other loves would fall flat on their face in front of that particular kind of love. So I had literally listed down the things जो मेरा परमात्मा जो मेरे दिल में बसता है उसमें है. And this had been communicated to Guruji internally, not externally. And Guruji became all of those things for me. He became all of the things that I really wanted him to be. He never judged me. He kept my secrets. He had a sense of humor. He loved me like a friend. He fathered me like a parent. He mothered me like a mother. He wasn't the executioner. He didn't punish me for anything. No matter what I did and I went back to him, he would greet me with open arms. And the amount of safety I felt in his presence, I always say ki in Guruji's presence, when you're dying, and imagine कि तुम्हें वर्ल्ड की worst disease है और तुम you have a few days to live, and the world's best doctor who specializes in that disease actually comes and he gives you the medicine and it works. That's the kind of wellness and safety one would feel in his presence, multiplied 1 billion times and more. So he was a friend, he was a parent, he was a guide, he was a mentor. He wouldn't judge, he had a sense of humor, he wouldn't punish, he would keep my secrets, he would love me. He was my sibling, he was everything to me. So that is exactly what happened, that when Maharaj came into my life, that well that I talk about inside me, that began to fill. I found everything that I was looking for in him. My reliance and reliability on other people decreased. गुरुजी बहुत सारी चीज़ें कहा करते थे. आज हम वही बातें करते हैं जो हमें सूट करती हैं. बट गुरुजी हमेशा कहा करते थे कि लोगों से फ़ोन पे बात नहीं करनी है, लोगों को कम मिलना है, लोगों से डिस्टेंस मेंटेन करके रखना है. He would say, फ़ोन सब तो वड्डी बीमारी है, इधर तो दूर रहा करो, सारा दिन फ़ोन ते ना गल्लां करया करो. The things that we say today कि गुरुजी ऐसे कहा करते थे, गुरुजी ऐसे कहा करते थे, हम बहुत लाइटली लेते हैं इन चीज़ों को. पर गुरुजी ने तो एक्चुअली हमें सब कुछ अपने लाइफ टाइम में सिखा दिया. ये ठीक है कि उन्होंने ये नहीं बोला कि ओह दिस इज़ अ लाइफ लेसन सो यू मस्ट, पर जो उनके सहज स्वभाव से भी बोली गई चीज़ें हैं, उसमें भी बहुत 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 ज़्यादा वैल्यू है. I realized on the way after I met Guruji that the way I felt with him, nothing and nobody could make me feel like that. No experience, no human being, no amount of holidays, money, possessions, goodness, well-being, health, कोई भी चीज़ मुझे वो करार नहीं दे सकती थी जो गुरुजी की प्रेजेंस में, just the fact that I knew that he is my God. that He's everything. And if I'm depending on anything outside of Him, I'm an atheist. That means I don't believe in Him. मेरी लाइफ के जिस भी एरिया में मैं अपना कंट्रोल जताना चाहती हूँ, मैं वहीं पे एथिस्ट बन जाती हूँ. मेरी लाइफ के जिस भी एरिया में मैं अपनी रिलायबिलिटी लोगों के ऊपर, सिचुएशंस पे, एक्सपीरियंसेस पे, पोजेशंस पे, मनी पे जितनी ज़्यादा मेरी रिलायबिलिटी रहती है, मैं उतनी बड़ी एथिस्ट हूँ. If I have Him in my life, I should feel zero need for anything. Zero. All my blessings come from Guruji. Guruji 99.9% कंट्रोल करते हैं, 0.1% फिजिकल रियलिटी कंट्रोल करती है. If I was to ask myself, do I believe in the 99.9% that my Guru controls, or do I believe in the 0.1% of what reality in the physical realm is showing me? You know, we are so lucky that we found Guruji in physical form. I say lucky because जो भगवान दूर है ना, उसको ट्रस्ट करना मुश्किल होता है, उसमें फेथ करना मुश्किल होता है. जो भगवान तुम्हें अपनी आंखों के सामने ऐसे नज़र आ रहे हैं, उन पे फेथ करना ईजी होता है, उन पे ट्रस्ट करना ईजी होता है, उन पे रिलायबिलिटी ईजिली आ जाती है. और हम इंसान ऐसे होते हैं कि we all have these wells inside us. पर कुछ लोग हैप्पी हैं उनको फिल करके with whatever they are filling, whether it's people, situation, experiences, possessions, whatever it is, you know. हर एक की अपनी जर्नी है. But I wasn't happy. मुझे तो ये लगता था कि वो वेल तो गॉड के साइज का है और सिर्फ गॉड ही आके फिल कर सकते हैं. And that is exactly what He did. He came into my life in a physical form and He told me कि तू एक कागज़ पेन ले और इसके ऊपर लिख कि तुझे अपने भगवान में क्या क्या चाहिए. और मैंने वो चीज़ें लिस्ट की और मैंने बोला कि मेरा भगवान ऐसा है. And then He became all of those things for me. And time again, He would prove it to me. Look, you said this. देख मैं अपने कहे पे पूरा उतर. तूने बोला था ना, you want your God to have a sense of humor? Here. You know, I really feel कि ये जो गॉड साइज वेल अंदर हमारे होता है, जब हम इसको फिल करते हैं, ये भी एक तरह की एडिक्शन ही होती है कि पहले तुम उसमें एक चीज़ डालते हो, फिर दूसरी डालते हो, तीसरी डालते हो. पहले हम छोटे बचपन से खाने की चीज़ों से खुश हो जाते हैं, फिर हमें बड़ी चीज़ें चाहिए होती, फिर उससे बड़ी, फिर उससे बड़ी, फिर उससे बड़ी. And then it just carries on. But the fact remains that this well one day or the other, you will realize that it will never fill. It gives you that momentarily, for that moment, it gives you that pleasure, that sense of high, a little bit of light, but after that, the light dies down. And then you want the next thing, and then you want the next thing, and then you want the next thing. You know, it's quite funny. The other day on Instagram, there was this reel. This guy was talking about जो लोग अफीम खाते हैं. So he's basically a wellness coach or something. And he was talking about कि पहले वो socially खाते हैं, फिर वो कहते हैं कि वो socially से दो तीन दिन बाद खाना शुरू कर देते हैं. And then हर रोज़ खानी शुरू कर देते हैं. फिर उसके बाद वो कहते हैं वो गोली बड़ी हो जाती है. फिर उसके बाद वो कहते हैं कि फिर वो गोली को खाते हैं चीनी के साथ, चाय के साथ, कि उसकी हिट ज़्यादा हो. And you know, he says something very nice, and I just thought that was worth thinking about. He goes कि वो उस गोली को चीनी या चाय के साथ इस करके पीते हैं कि उनको वो जो फर्स्ट टाइम का प्लेजर है, जो फर्स्ट टाइम की वो हिट का प्लेजर है, वही मिले. बट ही सेज कि वो एडिक्ट को ये गलत फहमी होती है कि वो प्लेजर दोबारा मिलेगा, वो नहीं मिलेगा. सो दिस इज व्हाट आवर लाइफ इज. वी गेट दोज थिंग्स. पहले एक छोटी कार से खुशी मिलती है, फिर दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी कार से भी वो खुशी नहीं मिलती है. हम ढूंढ क्या रहे हैं? हम ढूंढ वो खुशी रहे हैं जो हमें सबसे पहले एक फर्स्ट साइकिल लेके मिली थी. वो हाई ढूंढ रहे हैं. पर अब दुनिया की सबसे बढ़िया कार भी मिल गई है तो वो हाई नहीं मिल रहा है. सो बेसिकली वी आर लाइक एडिक्ट्स. हमें वो हाई मिलना, जैसे जैसे हमारी विशेस फुलफिल हो ही जाती हैं, हमें वो हाई मिलने बंद हो जाते हैं. एंड वी कीप ट्राइंग, मे बी दिस विल हेल्प, दिस विल हेल्प, दिस विल हेल्प. वो ही नशा फिर होएगा. अगर हम ये करेंगे, अब हम बिगर ले लेंगे, बेटर ले लेंगे, और ले लेंगे. बट दैट डजंट वर्क. I will have one friend, I will have two friends, I will have 5 friends, I'll go to 50 parties, I'll have a big social circle. Nothing works. And time again, he would make me realize कि किसी ने तेरे काम नहीं आना. He made me have so many experiences with people that I just was the most disillusioned person in my life, and I never wanted to deal with human beings. And any person who I really trusted or I became friendly with, he would just pick up that person and take them out of my life for one reason or the other. And he did it for, there was this one stretch where for 8.5 years, he made me sit in one room and do part for 7 to 8 hours a day. And I had zero contact with people. Zero contact with people. No going out. No like going to a restaurant or, just doing the mundane things of life. The small things. None of that. The only thing I did was visit my children because both of them were overseas. That is it. सुबह से लेके रात तक केवल एक सोफे पे बैठ के मैं पाठ करती थी. And all I would ask him was, why? इतना बैरागी क्यों बना दिया गुरुजी आपने मुझे? And I got no answers from him. I would wake up in the morning at 3 o'clock. I would go to the Gurdwara, come back from the Gurdwara, start doing my part until Reras का टाइम जो शाम का होता है, मैं सिर्फ पाठ कर रही होती थी. Zero contact with people, zero. दिस इज़ हाउ ही वीन्स यू ऑफ. जब वो तुम्हें उस चीज़ से निकालते हैं ना बाहर, तो इतनी सख्ती कर देते हैं कि फिर उसके बाद कोई आए या कोई जाए, कोई एक्सपीरियंस आए या कोई जाए, कोई मटेरियल पोजेशन आए या जाए, कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. गुरुजी बहुत सहज स्वभाव से ये बात बोला करते थे कि हजे तो मैं तेरी एडमिशन नहीं कराई, तो मैनू ही पता है कि वो फलाना केड़ी क्लास च है, ਇਹਦੀ प्रमोशन नहीं हुई, अगली क्लास मैनू भेजा नहीं है हजे. और we've never thought about these things seriously, but Guruji is a teacher. He teaches you everything. हमने इस चीज़ को इतना उससे लिया, इतनी कैजुअली इस चीज़ को लिया कि गुरुजी ने बोला एडमिशन नहीं हुई या इतना पास नहीं हुआ या इतना टेस्ट फेल हो गया. Guruji is not only a guru, he's also your teacher. And I think I've mentioned it in one of my previous satsangs that Lord Krishna and Arjun, they were both friends and relatives, and बहुत क्लोज थे आपस में. मतलब रात को रहना इकट्ठे, हंसी मजाक सब कुछ चलता था. As deep friend, there was a very deep friendship between them. But until the battle of Mahabharat, when he was standing, Arjuna was actually standing in the battlefield. He goes to Lord Krishna that please accept me as your student. That's the time the Gita was given to him. So when you tell Guruji to accept you as his student, then he teaches you. You don't need to run around anywhere. You don't need to apply your mind. You just have to tell him that Guruji, I don't like my reliance on other people. Guruji, I hate to call up people and tell them कि ये मेरे को प्रॉब्लम हो गई है. करते क्या हैं हम? यही करते हैं ना कि हमें थोड़ी सी लाइट चाहिए होती है, हम फ़ोन करते हैं, we feel better, we get a little bit of light. वो जौन सा 60 वाट का वेसल है उसमें 5 वाट की लाइट जल जाती है उस टाइम पे जब हम 10 बंदों के साथ बात कर लेते हैं, पर वो तो रात को वैसे ही फेड हो जानी है, उसमें रहना कुछ नहीं है. And I really, really, really was looking for Guruji to take over my life. And he did. And he's a very strict teacher. Those 8.5 years that he made me sit in that one room on one sofa to do my part, the only thing I could hear from him was Bairag, Bairag. I saw nobody outside of my family. And if I did try and see anybody outside of my family, मेरी कोई ऐसी उनके साथ बात हो जाती थी कि they would be out of my life. The 3 or 4 people I may have had in my life at that point of time, they were all taken away. His tests are very hard. But you know what? It's a very beautiful journey with him. He's a very tough taskmaster. but he's also a very loving parent. आज के लिए इतना ही. जय गुरु जी.